Much. This is really kind of fun to teach what Sun Tzu Bingpa is talking about to the Chinese students. I have studied straight for a long period of time, like Michael Porter, Adam Smith, all these kind of classical Western studies. Some years ago, I became more interested in Asian wisdom, and I know something about Sun Tzu Bingpa. I was deeply studying the Sun Tzu Bingpa, the real value of Sun Tzu Bingpa. And that is a lot more important than you may think. So for the last 1 or 2 days, we have visited some innovative centers, the companies. So we were impressed by the Chinese innovativeness. It's not in Shanghai, it's not in Shenzhen, it's not in Beijing, but it's in an inland. We thought that Xi'an is just famous for like a historic kind of sites and places, but we were also impressed by innovations. I've also visited other places like Shenzhen and Guangzhou and Beijing. They all demonstrate this is China. This is number 2 country in the world, innovativeness. But how would Sun Tzu say about this kind of bragging? The real value of Sun Tzu is not to build on resources of knowledge. The real value of Sun Tzu is, even if you do not have this kind of resource, you can build the world. This is the real value. So in this world, and also like a kind of country perspective, now out of 100 competitors, only 1 or 2 are first runners. Most of the others, 99%, 98% of the competitors are like latecomers. So many business people or the scholars in American universities, like including Michael Porter or whoever, they say, hey, you have to be a first mover. But first mover is only one person, only one company. 99% of the time, they are not first movers. So how can you compete among these similar kind of competitors, not being one? So we need 2 big weapons. One is, if you are a first mover, that's good for you. Okay? Yeah, try to do some research and development. Even if there are some other areas that you are not the first movers, you can still win or organize. So if you combine the real value of the wisdom of Sun Tzu and global value chain perspective, collaboration, cooperation, rather than just competition, then we can have a better result. This is what strategy is about. Strategy is not just fighting, the strategy is to win without fighting. So I will deliver some key messages of Sun Tzu Bingpa from not like old time, 2,500 years ago, but from modern, contemporary time. And we can find some implications for China, not just for China, but also Korea and some other countries that you are from. Our case is about China, but it can be applied to other countries. Okay? So my lecture today is quite different from other things that you have seen so far. Okay? It's not just innovation, it's not just technologies, it's not just drone tech. It's good for you, but even without that, you can win. 1978, like Deng Xiaoping opened the economy. At that time, nothing was there. In South Korea, 40, 50 years ago, one of the poorest countries in the world, but now they've developed. Now we have Samsung here, but in the old time, Samsung is a 2nd tier, a 3rd tier company. How did they catch up? This is what strategy is about. So my point is strategic wisdom, not strategy, but strategic wisdom. Insights from the outer world or contemporary China. This is not a history class. This is a modern, the most updated version of strategic class. And this is me. And here are some more kind of details of my experiences, lectures, and research in the research report, interviews. So my lecture today is not, I'm more scholar, even if I'm now doing the job of presidentship of a university, but I think I'm more scholarly, but I have also been a consultant. So the thing that I would like to deliver today is kind of a combination of scholarly work and real-world expressions, real-world experiences. So let me say there are 4 sections: global uncertainty and strategic challenge, and economic tensions, particularly between China and USA, and then technological disruptions, AI. I'm not talking about AI, but what is the implication of the AI competition? So now we have two issues. One is economic tension. The other one is technological tension. We are trying to derive the conclusions for China, and we can apply them again to the countries that we are interested in. Okay, the evolution of history, pandemics like COVID-19, technology and economics and beyond. So let's go over the history. If you get older, you're gonna be more historian. Like 14th century, there was a European Black Death. Okay, and a Zoom meeting before COVID-19. We had technology, but we didn't use them because of COVID-19. So if there's any disaster, always there are two issues. Number one is economic development, but the other one is technological development. But so far I talked about like economic development, and now technological disruptions. So number one is about 20 something. Yes?
Do you think that learning is affected by the competitiveness level of the education environment?
Yes, sure.
So it is like positively or negatively?
Well, positive. You have to make it positive. But I'm sorry to say this one, but in Silicon Valley, there are many people from India. Even the chairman of the very big high-tech companies said that India is smart and hardworking people. People from India. But if you go to India, the external environment is not well supporting that kind of people. So that's why I said, there's an interaction between internal factor and external factors. Environment is really, really important. So for everything, for economic environment or for education environment, we need like a good, well-supporting environment.
So can we say that for best learning, sometimes we should change our education environment?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because when the competitiveness level is really high,
Yes.
So the people doesn't want to teach each other because we are competitor and I don't want to share my information with the others. So
Yes.
it is better to change the education environment as well.
Right. We have to change, we have to continuously upgrade the education environment. And now, when the technologies are changing so fast, it's not easy to catch up with the speed of environmental change, particularly for the education. So even the educators have to continuously study what's happening outside. So regardless of your major field, whether you're philosophers or whatever, you have to understand what's happening in the real world, in scientific world and in social science world. What's happening in society and what's happening in the kind of natural science, so that we can update and upgrade the environment for education and all the others. So again, the policymakers have to be concerned about two different perspectives. One is exogenous variables, environmental variables. The other one is internal variables. Okay, now let me just talk about a technological perspective, which is a little different from what you have thought. So about 20-something years ago, at the turn of this new century, at the turn of year 2000, 1999 and year 2000, there was a digital revolution, digital technology. And then Microsoft, Bill Gates, and Steve Jobs of Apple were kind of superstars at the time. Digitalize. At the time, Japanese Sony was still pursuing analog technologies, and all of a sudden they changed the leadership. So these are the digital superstars, Microsoft and Apple, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. Some years later, we have new technology. There's a big data. Now Google came up, and then Facebook. Now it changed its name to Meta, right? And then some years later, we are talking about the artificial intelligence. And the real core competence of Amazon is not e-commerce company, that's AI company. Okay, you also have to understand that Tesla, Elon Musk is not electricity operating vehicle company, but it is an AI company. That's why they're talking about OpenAI or Neuralink or whatever. The core competence of Elon Musk, Tesla is is AI. And Amazon is moving just from AI to, the three technologies. One is digital technology and big data and artificial intelligence. And each of these three technologies is improving a lot. And you need the space capacity to operate all these technologies. We need like space, big space. What is that? What is that? Cloud services. Cloud services. So Amazon is taking up like about almost 40% of the global market share of cloud service. So eventually, Amazon is a more important company. But you need space. The Korean people have some kind of ideas of constructing buildings, but they do not have space. You have space like this. In Korea, we don't like to buy land, but they don't sell land. It's so expensive and so compact. Eventually, once you have like some other technology, you need space. You need like the hardware. It's not hardware, but it's space in the cloud. So sometimes you have heard the news that Amazon is entering like some like a generative AI system, or even they're gonna make like automobiles. What are they talking about? Because they have this one. And they have Microsoft. That's why the Microsoft is kind of combining with OpenAI to compete with Google. So these four technologies. So digital, big data, and then artificial intelligence, and nowadays and in the future, there's a competition about cloud services. Who's going to have that future space? And still, this is dominated by USA. The China and Korea can compete with USA about AI itself, but not cloud service. It's a big gap between these guys for the capacity of cloud service. So digital is okay, but when you just talk about digital, this is just subset of the big picture of the big technologies. So you have to have a combine, the national policy should be combining these four technologies, ABCD technologies. But they are moving around. Well, Chinese digital companies and Tencent and Huawei, okay, they're doing good. Baidu, Tencent, Byte, Alibaba, BYD, and Alibaba Time. This is still China is okay. But number one is even like a cloud service. It's okay to supply the China market, but this is global competition. So China is okay. It's, very much impressive. WeChat. This is world number one. And actually, Elon Musk is benchmark WeChat. That's why he purchased the Twitter, the X company, and he said that I'd like to make a better version of WeChat in America. That's Twitter. So, Chinese ingenuity, all the important inventions were made in China, explosives and paper, kind of compass, all this kind of thing like that. Huh? But the problem is China is too much Chinaized. WeChat is used only in China. WeChat's accent, this is impressive in China. You don't need like a name cards. No, first thing, it doesn't have name card. I have a name card. We just like put it, which I like that. But only in China. The Zhonghua Minguo, right? This is the center of the universe. This is fine. And even in America, I taught in America for a long time. But do you know the kind of joke? What do you call the person who speaks two languages? Bilingual. Okay. What about the person who speaks three languages? Trilingual. What about the person who speaks only one language? Monolingual? American. This is American joke. They speak only English, right? Now this is their their narrow vision. So many successful companies in America, they are not successful outside America. Because they thought, no, America, they have, even the golf course, they pick like 4 golf courses, 1 pair. And we don't buy it because there's a suit, this number 4 is kind of for that, so they don't like the number 4, okay? But they didn't know that. This is an American myopic, American like a narrow vision. And even China is kind of proud of being Chinese. This is the center of the universe. So technology development is fine, But again, external factors. Internally, you are very much innovative. But external factors, you have to globalize. Not just China, but globalize. Why? So you have to think about how to globalize the WeChat for some others. So globalization, a broader scope of technological integration. Okay, well, I'm not kind of criticizing, but we have visited a couple of companies, but they just highlight digital technology. They just highlight digital technology. And in South Korea, they just talk about like semiconductors. No, you have to talk about big data and like artificial intelligence, even cloud service. Now you are global competitors. You are not second tier or third tier anymore. You are the first tier player. Then what about TSMC, and what about NVIDIA? Who are they? So major players are here. This is again ABCD technologies, okay? ABC strategy and ABC technology. Artificial intelligence and big data, cloud service, and these are main base technologies of competing among the big tech companies. And now the suppliers, the chips and the system like semiconductors. And then the kind of commodity type semiconductors are supplied by Samsung and TSMC and SK. The supplier. So Sam Ward, let me skip it, that's too much. And then digital platforms like Google and Meta and then like, this is like a big value chain, diversification again. So you have to be able to look at the broader picture of industry algorithm. Then you can provide good design for ecosystem. You cannot just provide ecosystem. You have to first understand the logics, and algorithm, by economic or business ecosystem. You can have like a better design rather than, okay, in terms of this, we are better than USA. Okay, we have more parameters for like generative AI. That's real narrow subset of the big picture of technological integration. So this is Silicon Valley. Yeah, very complicated. But I'm not just saying this is good one, but this kind of benchmark, it took like several decades. But China can be more mobilized. You can do it within 10 or 20 years. You can catch up with Silicon Valley. It may take longer time for other countries, but you are fast. China is fast. So in Korea we say, okay, China is big, and Korea is small. Big fish and small fish. But Korea is faster than China. Small fish is faster than big fish, so can be. But what about big fish moves faster than small fish? What? Yeah, it's happening now, right? It's faster. So every year, I come to China once or twice a year, and every time we're impressed. It moves fast, it changes fast. So the idea is again, is it agile? What if China moves fast? Then what's going to happen to Korea? The answer is change our unit of analysis, not country by country, but company by company. So global value chain when trading, all the small fishes, mid-sized fishes and big fishes, global value chain, right? So collaboration. This Silicon Valley so far, this is kind of champion, but you can catch up with Silicon Valley, you can overtake champion. And now this is Zhongguancun in China. Currently it's not as competitive as Silicon Valley, but you can do it. The idea is not strong in technology, but the idea is bring in other countries' companies, bring in the companies from other. The Silicon Valley says, welcome everybody. More than 50% of the engineers and managers in Silicon Valley were born outside USA. At the turn of year 2000, more than 50% are non-Caucasians. It's not American region. This is globalized. Make this kind of 중간점 is a more global 중간점 rather than Chinese 중간점. So answer is simple, very simple. So you have to bring in the countries and forms and regions from like southwest, okay, from Europe, northwest, from Northeast, from Korea and from Japan, and from some other areas, Shanghai areas and Guangzhou areas. Make it really the place that everybody would like to come. Everybody would like to come. This is the answer, rather than fighting against the American government. That's no good strategy. Welcome all. The conclusion is, so we have, today I presented two sets of skills. Number one is hard skill. Now this is the ABCDs, artificial intelligence, big data, cloud services, and digital. You have to learn, you have to catch up with, whether you're an engineer, scientist, or business people, you have to catch up with some part of like AI, big data, cloud services, ABC technologies. But you also need like a soft skill. This is strategic orientation. You have to be agile, more agile than before. You have to have good benchmarking, mostly global benchmarking, convergence of different sets of core competencies. You have to be more highly dedicated. So this one you have to learn. This one you can change your mind overnight. In 1 second, okay, I'm gonna be faster from now on. I'd like to change my mind from like a domestic protectionism to international global standard. I'm a global citizen. Not just specializing in one area, but integration of different sets of kind of skills. Highly dedicated, more motivation. So for the rest of your life, continue to learn and continue to polish, continue to like refresh your mindset. More agile, more global benchmark like that. Continue to learn and continue to refresh your mindset. And this is your competitiveness, reinforced with each other, and there's a value creation is coming from this one and that. And now individuals are different, so which is more important sometimes, maybe cloud service, or maybe AI, or maybe we're still slow, right? We have to change it quite rather than unmanageable. And the high dedicated, oh, this is really important, I do it more. Okay? And which should be done first? So this is again the strategic choice, the relative weight, and relative sequence. So two sets of skills, hard skills and soft skills, which is more important than this. Okay, I think this is it, and thank you very much for listening, and this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.